You are home alone, and you hear on the news about the profile of a murderer on the loose. You look out the sliding glass doors to your backyard, and you notice a man standing out in the snow. He fits the profile of the murderer exactly, and he is smiling at you. You gulp, picking up the phone to your right and dialing 911. You look back out of the glass as you press the phone to your ear and notice he is much closer to you now. You then drop the phone in shock, the blood freezing in your veins. There are no footprints in the snow. It's his reflection. He smashed the dark oak desk into shards of stray wood strewn about the chamber with his sledgehammer. After all, he couldn't eat the entire thing in one bite. As the veins in his eyes pulsed and his teeth ground for individual superiority over the others, he tried to think of something, anything, that didn't involve what the guard outside was going to watch him eat through the bulletproof glass. Blueberries. They're nice. I remember blueberries. The best ones always came from the big bushes outside of the McCoy house. I'm going to eat a desk for a crime I didn't commit. Blueberries. Blueberries. He laid his hammer down, sat on the floor, and stared for a few minutes at the wall. He eventually picked up a dime-sized chip of wood. This is a blueberry. This is a McCoy blueberry. They'd always be happy to give me their blueberries, and this is one of them. As he swallowed it whole, he gagged as he felt the edges of the chip cut the lining of his throat, but he forced it into his stomach. The back of his mouth became sour with little drops of blood. That was a blueberry, a very sweet blueberry, picked at just the right time. I probably liked it. He choked down more chips. More blood came up, and nausea set in from the wood and its varnish. But he couldn't throw up. Then he would have to start over. He got to his feet and raised the sledgehammer high above his head to make more small pieces out of the bigger ones. I love blueberries. I'm going to eat a lot of blueberries. The door flung open, and before he could say anything, the guard took his hammer and slammed the door. Well, looks like I'm going to be eating some big blueberries. He sat down and grabbed a foot-long length of splintered wood. He tried to break it, but it would only break in half. He pointed his face at the fluorescent light on the ceiling and opened his mouth wide. This is a blueberry. I know it looks nothing like a blueberry, but it is. He nudged the wood past the opening of his throat. He felt it scrape. He felt it slide. Gently, gently, gently. He felt his mouth water, and in doing so he gagged. He couldn't breathe. He tried to pull the wood out of his throat, but the edges were caught on the inside of him. With an anguished scream, he ripped the stick out of his throat and threw it to the other side of the chamber. His mouth was a fountain of blood and saliva. His esophagus was on fire with agony. And then he turned his head, and he saw a sturdy board that made the surface of the desk. He had only split it in half with the hammer. That's not a blueberry. That's not a blueberry. That's not a blueberry.